Now resolution is moved. Shri B.K. Hariprasad ji.
Deputy Chairman, sir, thank you very much. I raise to support the resolution moved by Dr. Vikas Mahatme ji. We both are in the same standing committee. We have been dealing with this issue for a long time. Sir, basically, I would like to bring it to the notice of this August House. The reservation is not a charity. Reservation is the greatest weapon for equality in this society. In Indian society, the caste system, which preaches discrimination, and the society, in a way, engineers discrimination in the name of caste and the rituals. A section of the society in our country feels that reservation for SC, ST, OBCs, or even to the minorities will bring in a lot of inefficiency in whatever the field they are into. Sir, reservation, it is not just in our own country.
कृपया शांति बनाए रखें.
In the world, the superpower, USA, one of the most advanced country, even in that country, there is a reservation in the name of affirmative action. In India, in the name of caste, there is a difference, vast difference between the man to man. In the West, it is a racist, where there is a difference between the black and white. It is the two colors. Whereas here, in the name of caste, there is a wide disparity and difference between the huge population. And our forefathers who brought this constitution, they are well aware of the discrimination meted out to this section. Reservation is not a poverty alleviation program for this vulnerable section. As Dr. Mahatme ji has rightly said, the representation in the government, whether it is center or the state, it is a very microscopic percentage. As I said, it is not a poverty alleviation program or an employment scheme. We have to make the huge population to feel that this country belongs to them. And there is no dearth of programs. There is no dearth of law for the upliftment of these sections of the society. When it comes to the implementation of these programs, as Mahatma ji has rightly said, right from 1993, OBCs have been given the reservation in the employment. To this day, in some of the institutions, absolutely there are 0% of OBCs or SC, STs, or even in some of the departments, when we look at totality, it is not even 19.3%. They were supposed to give 20% of the reservation. But even if you go by state, the reservation policy differs. For example, in Chhattisgarh, the reservation for OBC is only 12%. Even in the central organization, even it's mandatory. It's a law act passed by this parliament that 27% reservation should be there for OBC. But there, they will not cross beyond 12%. They say it is a state policy. If that is the case, if at all, if they feel that the state policy should be adopted, then I am of the view that all the state governments should follow the policy of Tamil Nadu, where 69% of the population gets a reservation. Even recently, Maharashtra has enhanced the reservation to almost 69%. They have included Marathas also in that. Basically, the spirit of reservation is not an economic criteria. The spirit of the Constitution, the spirit of reservation is to give representation to the people who are educationally, socially backward, not economically backward. Because we have been seeing in this country, there is no depth of talents. If I quote, I come from Bangalore, one of the most prestigious institutions. It's almost a 110-year-old institution, Tata Institute of Science. There was no candidate from OBC in the higher education. When UPA 1 passed the act of giving representation or the reservation in the higher education, in 2006, I happened to be the member of the Indian Institute Council, where I was insisting for the reservation for these OBCs in the higher education. Finally, they had invited application for 50 people. Out of 50, 23 people got through on their own. But almost for 100 years, these opportunities were denied for these OBC or SC, STs. Till 1974, there was no appointment of even SCs in these institutions. But they think that reservation is something they are giving in charity. It is wrong. And this country belongs to us. And we have all the right to contribute to build this nation. This is my view on the reservation. Sir, if you, as Mahatma Ji was referring to the weighted index, I slightly differ with him, because already the Supreme Court in its observations has said that we have to follow creamy layer. Sir, this is the second time I am bringing this issue to the notice of this August House. There are 56 candidates who have passed. Jitendra Singh Ji is also here, who looks after DOPT. 56 candidates have passed this UPSC exam. Some are IAS, IPS. To this day, even 2 years now, they have not been given any postings saying that they come under creamy layer. And in the creamy layer, they are not ready to explain the equivalence between the grade A and the public sector institutions. Actually, the Madras CAT, Delhi High Court, Haryana High Court have categorically said that the creamy layer, while taking the account of the income, the salary and the agriculture income should not be taken into consideration while considering for the creamy layer. Even then, these boys have been denied opportunity. Mahatma Ji was rightly pointing out that only 25% of the population of the OBCs are getting the benefit of this reservation. But from his own community, Dangar, there are no IAS officers, no IPS officers. One little girl have passed the exams and she is going round the pillars of all the leaders in Delhi, but she is unable to get the postings. She has got through the IAS exams. This is a gross injustice they are doing to these poor people. It doesn't mean that just because they are OBCs and SC, ST, they doesn't have the talent. Sir, as you know, when I take the exam, it is 100 marks, maybe, for example, 100 marks exam. All the candidates who gets the 99%, who gets 50%, who get 35% for the pass, they go through the same question paper, not a different question paper. There are no different question paper for SC, ST, OBCs. It's a general question paper for all the classes. Some may get 90, some may get 70. As Mahatma Ji was pointing it out, some of the students, they are the first generation who are into the education. Because historically, or mythologically, the education was reserved to a section of the society. Only after we got independence, it was de-reserved and it was free for all. Slowly they are picking up. the first generation student, they have to get some support, incentives from the government, then only they can compete. For example, it is not that just because they are in upper caste, they can compete with with any exams. The upper caste boys girls who are there in the rural part, they can't compete with the upper caste people who are there in the urban areas because they have got better advantages of access to the libraries, access to any kind of knowledge. So there are vast difference in this reservation policy. So they have brought in in the last session. We have passed that act of National Commission for Backward Classes. Later, the government has constituted for a subcategorization of the backward classes. Well, already it has got the 3 extensions from the parliament, but they are unable to identify the backward classes. Identifying the backward classes is a tough job because identifying, as I earlier also had said, identifying the Dalits, identifying the tribals is a very easy job because tribals live in the forest and the OBCs, scheduled castes live in out of the village or out of the town, whereas OBCs, they live in all part of the villages or the town. Some of them are more affluent also. It doesn't mean that they should be denied because they have the opportunity, because they may say reservation is a kind of tool for encouraging the inefficient. If you take the examples of the education system in this country, sir, there are a lot of medical colleges, engineering colleges. Most of them are capitation fees colleges. The people who get 50% of the marks, they can enter the medical college or engineering college. What is their merit? Their merit is just money backs. I don't want to name the colleges or the universities where there are packages to get the post-graduation certificate. It is a package. They give the package of 3 crores, 4 crores, 5 crores for the children to get a certificate of a doctor of MBBS or even the post-graduation. And one of the civilized, the nationalist citizen had filed a PL in the Supreme Court against the capitation fees. Sir, it's heartening to note that no lawyer worth the name was there to argue for that PL. Most of these medical colleges, engineering colleges hired the all top lawyers of the country to speak against the speak for the capitation fees. Thanks to Supreme Court, though they have passed the order of banning the capitation, clandestinely these capitation fees are being in practice everywhere. So there are laws passed in Parliament only to be bypassed by the mighty and the money power. So unless we protect these weaker sections through the law and through the government, through the representatives of the people, it would be highly impossible to get this benefit to trickle down to this smaller section of the society. Sir, I don't want to go to the history. Whether it is Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar or the social reformers like Guru Narayan Periyar, Ramaswamy Naikar, Sahu Maharaj and Vemana in Andhra, all these people contributed immensely to empower the weaker section of society to live with dignity. As yesterday rightly pointed out by my sister here, she was speaking on the education bill where Savitri Bai Phule, who was the first woman along with the Fatima Sheikh, who fought for the right to education for women. There are people whose name even today nobody will forget it. We may come and go, unless we make changes in the society, nobody will remember you forever. Sir, I don't want to take much of your time. This is high time. The huge population of SC, ST, OBCs and minority, they should be brought in the mainstream of the society, because it's not an easy thing, because everything depends on the DOPT. DOPT, as we have learned, before going to in detail to the activities of the DOPT, I thought DOPT is a department of personal training. But after going through their attitude, it is nothing but a department of persecution of the weaker section. They doesn't want to let the weaker section to take the benefit of this reservation. They are finding ways and means to avoid this section of the society not to get the fruits of this reservation. Sir, this is a right move. Government should wake up to see that the policies which have been passed, the act which have been passed in the parliament, in true spirit, it should be implemented at the grassroots level, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable B.K. Hariprasad ji. Now, Mahant Sambhu Prasad Thuria ji.
सर, आपका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ कि आपने इस प्रस्ताव के